Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good weekend, and welcome back to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, where those utter fascists running Kuttenberg seem to think that I'm involved in some kind of criminal activity, and so I'm basically taking my business elsewhere until they work it out of their system. As a result of which, I found myself accosted by this remarkably polite gentleman on the road one night.
What's going on? Damn it, I thought something was going on here. Look at me, over here like a fool. Hey, good man! I need to speak with you. Hey!
What are you doing hanging around here, old man? Are you alright?
Not entirely. I'm Sir Jezhek of honourable.
And I'm Henry.
Well, Henry, I'm terribly sorry, but this is an ambush.
What?
Please don't make it harder for me than it already is, and surrender nicely. I don't want to hurt you.
Are you having a laugh? Is this some kind of old twat joke that us young twats don't get?
Are you yanking my pizzle?
Unfortunately not. Turn out your purse so we can get this over with.
Touch me and I'll break your legs, you old fool.
Calm yourself, my good fellow. Believe me, this hurts me as much as it does you.
I sincerely doubt it. What kind of peculiar robber are you?
Robber? How dare you insult me so?
What else should I call you?
I am a man of honour. Only I've been a bit down on my luck recently.
So it seems. Even this ambush isn't working out too well for you. What you were shouting at me sounded more like rather rude begging for alms.
And what was I supposed to say?
Your money or your life? That usually does the trick.
But I don't want to take your life. I just want money.
Can't you find some fucking other way to earn coin? You said you're a knight, right? So go and serve some lord.
I'd have to get my horse and armour back first. Without them, I'm useless as a knight.
Someone stole your horse and gear? How?
It's a long story.
Cut it short. Otherwise you might drop dead before you get to the end.
Until recently, I served in Sigismund's army, but I had a quarrel with the commander, one Zavish of Garbov. We insulted each other so much that I ended up losing my temper and challenging him to a duel.
And you lost?
We each bet our horse, our armour, and knightly honour. And I lost all of it.
Never gamble what you can't afford to lose.
No offence, but that was serious stupidity. You should never bet what you can't afford to lose.
You don't understand anything.
I understand you're a
We were
twat.
getting supplies in Betchwar, and Zavish had the whole village torched without blinking an eye. I was the only one who spoke up against it.
And they all died anyway, and it cost you everything you have.
It was noble of you to stand up for the common folk.
Perhaps. But you see the result. No good deed goes unpunished. Now, I'm trying to get enough coin to get my things back, and you seemed like a skilled fighter. That's why I chose you. If I must do something so despicable as robbing people, then at least they should be capable of defending themselves.
He is the most noble idiot I've ever met.
What if I tried to help you? I'll go to your commander and try to convince him to give it all back.
You'd do that for me?
Oh, I offered, didn't I? So, where can I find this man?
In Sigismund's camp. His name is Zavish of Garbov. He has a black eagle and 3 yellow stones on his coat of arms. He's got a rather inconspicuous tent above the camp kitchen. Hopefully you'll find it.
And how will I recognise your things? Is your coat of arms on them?
Of course, on my cuirass and on the caparison of my horse Gringolet. It's the same as I have on my shield here. A black raven with a ring in its beak on a yellow ground. If you get my things back from Zavish, come and see me in the tavern in Pshitok. They let me sleep in the hay there.
He is an absolute fucking idiot. But he's an honourable idiot. And, you know, I kind of feel sorry for him. So we're going to do this. I might not necessarily speak to his commander. Hello. You know, I might just help myself to his stuff. But I will get his stuff back for him. Apparently there's a point of interest on the road ahead. A hanged man. Not sure what's so special about this one. It wouldn't be the first body I've seen swinging from the branches of a tree by the side of a road in this game. But let's go and check it out anyway. It's up this way apparently. Nope, that's not it. Ah, there he is. Oh yeah, that is kind of weird. Hanged huntsman. That's almost the exact opposite of what you'd expect to see swinging by the side of the road. Oh, he's got the sketch. That's a sort of recipe, if you like, for a blacksmith for making a common sailor. But yeah, you don't normally see huntsmen swinging from trees by the side of the road. It's normally the poachers that the huntsmen catch. Looks like the poachers got their revenge. So I'll go ahead and learn this. I don't expect I'll ever make it. But it's nice to collect the recipes. So, Sigismund's Camp. Sigismund's Camp is actually the second biggest settlement in the Kuttenberg area, with Kuttenberg itself obviously being the first. But Sigismund's Camp is substantially bigger than any of the other towns, and this is going to be the first time I've ever actually been there. I don't even know if I actually can get in. You know, in retrospect, that's probably the sort of thing that I should have figured out before I agreed to come here and get this guy's stuff back. Ah well. In for a penny, in for a pound. I mean, it's a good question, because, I mean, this isn't just any old place. This is an army camp. They're not going to just let any old fool wander in. Well, at least I wouldn't think they would. Only one way to find out. Now, you might be thinking, and it's a reasonable thought to have, how are they going to know that I'm not supposed to be in the camp? I mean, it's not like they've got ID cards and facial recognition or anything like that. But this is what medieval heraldry was for. See, they're going to know the colours of everybody who is supposed to be in the camp. And I ain't wearing those colours. So I might end up having to blag my way in.
Go!
Fortunately, I have not neglected my speechcraft. And I have, well, my charisma can't get any higher, even when wearing plate armour. So we'll see what happens.
Come here. Where do you think you're going?
Into the camp, of course.
Oh, aye. They can't wait to see you. Look here. No strangers are allowed in, so turn around and sod off back to the pile of dung you crawled out of.
I'm here on behalf of Sir Jezhek of Holoclavi. He sent me to see Zavish.
You're Jezhek's messenger. Well, that's another matter, sir. Come in. Zavish will surely be pleased. You'll find him beyond the kitchen. There's this out-of-the-way tent there. His banner flies above it, so you'll recognise it.
That seems suspiciously easy. I mean, almost like there's some kind of joke, and I'm the butt of that joke, and I don't realise it yet. Huh. So, I'm going to leave the horse here. The armoursmiths and weaponsmiths in Kuttenberg are pretty good. I just wonder how they compare to the blacksmiths here in Sigismund's war camp. Also, I might be able to sell some of my stolen goods to this guy. Let's have a look. Yeah, this is some good stuff. But it's not that good. None of it's better than anything that I currently have equipped. Then again, I suppose it would be logical that a camp follower, blacksmith, or armourer, or swordsmith, or weaponsmith, or whatever, they'd be wanted mostly for their skills to repair weapons and armour, rather than make new stuff. Given that, well, all the knights turning up to fight for Sigismund, they're going to have their own gear anyway. But it's going to get damaged in battle, so it's probably not surprising that these guys aren't selling the best stuff. I mean, it's good stuff, but it's definitely not the best I've seen. Yeah, that makes sense. Right, anyway, he said this Zavish guy had a tent. uphill from the cookhouse. So I suppose I need to find the cookhouse. Well, that looks like a camp within a... Oh, wow. A black man. That's not something you see every day in 15th century Bohemia.
Christ almighty. Are you alright, sir?
Here we go again.
It's just that you look...
Muscular, wise, wealthy.
I'm sorry, sir. I just wasn't expecting it. I didn't mean it badly.
I know very well what you meant. I have had this conversation at least 100 times. Have you never heard of Prester John or the Christian kingdom of Axum?
Yes. Our parish priest talked about that.
Tell me then, how the people in those stories are described. Not exactly like you. Am I right?
But I thought that was just...
So you see, it is not. Musa of Mali is my name. Scholar, explorer, and physician. I run the camp infirmary.
my name is Henry, sir.
Welcome then, Henry. Do you need anything?
You said you're an explorer.
I did indeed. From Timbuktu, I went to Holy Mecca. From the Emirate of Granada to Venice. And from there to the court of Sultan Bayezid of the Osmans. Until I ended up at the court of King Sigismund.
And how do you like Bohemia?
Do you want to hear the truth? Or should I praise it to high heaven?
The truth. You don't need to spare my feelings.
Then, all I can say is that this muddy hill is about the only thing I have seen of your country. And that has not made much of an impression on me. But there is still time. Perhaps I will have the good fortune to see more beautiful sights.
I'm new to the camp. Could you show me around? If you don't have too much work, that is.
Well, I suppose it will be all right. If I am not here for a while. At least I can practice your language. You use some strange phrases, you know? But that does not matter now. Let us go.
I wouldn't be at all surprised if most of you had never heard of the Malinese Empire, although you may have heard of one of its major cities, Timbuktu. Musa just mentioned it. But it was a West African empire that was more or less at the height of its power at the time this game was set.
So, as you have no doubt realized, this is my infirmary. One part for operating on the wounded, another for the sick, my alchemist bench, a tub of water, nothing out of the ordinary. Come on, let us walk outside. I am sorry that I cannot show you more, but I am sure you understand that there is not much to see. One is almost ashamed to call it an infirmary. Do you not think?
I don't know anything about that, sir. In our village, when someone was sick, we sent for the herb woman, and that was that. We didn't have any infirmary.
I am not surprised. Diarrhea, a few bruises, a fever now and then. That is no challenge. A learned man would certainly be bored to death in your village. And it is the same here. Honestly. Should a person with my knowledge be wasting his time here?
No, of course. What else should a sore bones do?
My friend, the human body contains so much beauty and so many secrets that we could explore. So why do we spend so much time on the quality of defecation? Think about it. Though it is true that you do not seem to be any great sage. I suppose you do not know what a real infirmary should look like. But do not worry. There are more cheerful places in the camp. I am sure something will take your fancy. This part of the camp is mainly for humans. So if you are looking for one, he will be either here or near the bathhouse. We will take a look there too. Do not worry. Over there is the pen where they used to have tournaments. Until the captains banned them. But that is a long story. Speaking of the captains here, do you know who's in charge overall?
Aye, I know something about that.
Careful.
You have 3 captains now, don't you?
Exactly. I can see that you take an interest. The camp as a whole is run by Sir Grozap of Vormlaka. That is a village somewhere in Transylvania, as far as I know. He is an interesting man, I'm sure. But he has a lot of trouble with the camp. So he tends to be, as you say, grumpy. Then there are the humans, who are commanded in battle by Cheritan. You will not meet him very often.
My respects.
He often has meetings with the king himself, in Sedlets. He is not a very cheerful man, but he seems a fair-minded commander to me. And he is an outstanding archer, it seems. How about you and archery, my friend?
Longbows and crossbows don't interest me much, to tell the truth. I prefer fighting up close.
I admire you then. I would not dare to do that. All that blood.
You don't like blood? But you're a physician.
That is why. The more blood is spilt, the more work. Well, there is enough of that. What were we talking about?
You were telling me about the commanders here.
Ah, yes. The camp captains. As I said, Sir Grozav commands the camp. Chertan commands in battle. And the third one joined us a few weeks ago. Dietrich Katz, with his Prague artillery regiment. It is a pity you will not be staying for longer. Dietrich is good to talk to, if he is not drinking too much. And over there is our bathhouse. It is not a sight for sore eyes, my friend. I mean, the women, of course. Not this place. Ah, a man should keep reminding himself that zina, what you call fornication, is a shameful deed, opening a road to other evils. By the way, what about you and women, my friend?
Nah,
My
women and
humble
me don't go
respects.
together.
Moderation and self-denial are certainly virtues. But as a physician, I advise you not to spend your whole life alone. You should find a good woman as soon as possible, and then marry her. And to do her what you see in her eyes. Our Lord Allah, Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, creates us in pairs and grants us love in our hearts, so that we may love another.
So are you married, sir? Since you say how wonderful it is.
No, not yet. What woman would want to spend her life traveling with me? But being single does not permit sinning with any girl who takes your fancy. Remember that. Fortunately, a man can help himself in his hour of need. At least if he thereby prevents a worse sin. So, in this part of the camp, you see the tents of various mercenaries from Germany, Poland, Hungary. In short, everyone who came to fill their pockets. You can have items repaired by the smith, and if you're hungry, the kitchen is over there. The food will please you more than me, I think, treating meat in that way. I simply cannot eat it. Do you know where the food is truly great? In Granada. So much fruit, sweet pastries, fish. In one banquet, the cooks use more spices than your entire country in a year.
You've been to Granada?
In the court of Sultan Muhammad VII himself. That is where I became a physician. That was when Granada was attacked by Martin Yanez de la Barbuda. And I did not want to die in some battle. So I found a safer way to be useful. You know, I have done a lot of traveling, my friend. From Timbuktu to Mecca. And from Granada to Venice. And now, here. But nowhere has the food been worse than here.
Oh, what do you dislike about the food here so much?
I hope I have not offended you. It is not your fault, really. How can a cook make something good when no pepper, cinnamon, or grains of paradise grow here? But your country is beautiful, all the same. And up here is where Katz's company of Prague artillerymen are billeted, to the great displeasure of everyone else in the camp. I must say, you can see why. It is the best spot, right next to the captains. And when it rains, all the filth runs downhill to the Cumans and mercenaries areas. Here is the pillory. May Allah, the compassionate, ensure you never end up in it. And if you go around the hill, you will come to the camp shooting range. I recommend visiting it. The Cumans must be born with a bow in their hands. But I will not escort you that far, my friend. I do not like to leave the infirmary unattended for long. Alaka Anben.
Yeah, Milanese Empire. I mean, in truth, it did kind of start to decline in the 14th century, and this game's set very early in the 15th century. But for a very, very long time, they were ridiculously wealthy. The area where the empire existed had been continuously inhabited for at least 12,000 years. And don't forget, for most of that time, the Sahara wasn't actually a desert. And the Milanese Empire was perfectly positioned to take
May God give you
advantage
health,
of the
sir.
trans-Saharan trade in pack animals, gold, salt, and slaves. Yes, that's right. I realise it's not terribly trendy to acknowledge the fact that white people didn't have a monopoly on the slave trade. Although the transatlantic slave trade didn't really get going until after the Milanese Empire had declined. Chiefly transporting slaves from Africa to the Spanish and Portuguese colonies in the Americas. And from 1525 on, it was mostly Portuguese slavers. Although the common myth is that the Portuguese slave ships would just rock up on the coast of West Africa, go ashore, kidnap entire communities, and then take them to America. Nothing could be further from the truth. They would rock up on the coast of West Africa, where the slaves would be waiting for them, all nicely caged and shackled up by other Africans. If you have a moment, look at the Kingdom of Dahomey. Their entire economy depended on kidnapping their neighbours and selling them into slavery. And when the slave trade ended, the entire kingdom collapsed because they just didn't know how to do anything else. So anyway, I'm sure I passed this cooker. Hang on. That's the crest, isn't it? 3 stones, black eagle on a yellow field. Yep. Looks like this guy's got his own private area. How private? Am I going to get thrown out? No, I'm not. Right. Let's see how much I'm allowed to poke around before... Oh, no, they don't like me sticking my nose into this tent. Okay. How about this one? I mean, I know I'm supposed to talk to the guy and get him to give up Sir What's-His-Name's stuff out of the goodness of his own heart. Oh, hang on, somebody looked for me. What? Wasn't doing nothing. Right, fine, I'm going. Okay, that was kind of weird because it didn't look like it was in any kind of private area, and yet they clearly did not like me nosing around. Am I allowed to eat from the pot? Is this going to be considered steal? Because it normally isn't if it says eat from pot. Normally it says steal food. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. I'm getting all kinds of mixed signals from this camp. Shit. Oh, it's one of the camp captains. Fine, okay. I mean, whatever.
I surrender!
You wanted to eat for free, did you, beggar boy? That's theft, you know? Food costs money, and it'll cost you double.
Look, I know it's only an 8 groschen fine, and that's double, but fuck these guys.
But wait, I didn't want to steal. I was starving, and when I was going by, that food smelled so delicious. Couldn't resist it. I'll make up for it. I swear. I'll bake some cakes and bring them.
They better have nuts in them. Get out of here, before I change my mind.
Yeah, this is confusing, because normally when I'm in a place and I'm not allowed to help myself to the food, it will say steal food from pot, not just eat from pot. So, yeah, I'm getting all kind of mixed signals here. Oh, hello, there's another blacksmith. Let's see what he's got.
Good afternoon.
What do you have for sale?
Oh, so this is more of a weaponsmith than an armorsmith. I'm not expecting him to have anything worth... Well, I'm not expecting him to have any longswords worth buying because I've got the best longsword in the game, but there might... You never know. Let's have a look around. Of course, I could always just, you know, wait until after midnight and then come back and loot his chest for everything that I want.
What can you do?
Which is probably what I'm going to end up doing. Because I'm certainly not going to be negotiating with Sir What's-His-Face for the return of Sir Other What's-His-Face's stuff. I'm definitely going to wait until dark and then come back and just help myself. So what's this end camp? Oh, according to the heraldry, this is where the Cumans live. Definitely Hungarian names. Yeah, so the Cumans are Sigismund's Hungarian mercenaries. And this is interesting. because they've got the lowest level of the camp. That's where these guys are all billeting. And you know what they say, shit rolls downhill. And it's literally true, because you do not want to be in the part of the camp at the bottom of the hill, because all of the shit rolls downhill. Literally. I mean, in a rainstorm like this, obviously all of the dirty, muddy, shitty water is going to roll down into your tent, but also, let's just say they didn't have particularly good drainage systems for the disposal of human waste. You might, if you're lucky, have a latrine pit. And the shit literally rolled downhill. So you never wanted to be in the part of the camp at the bottom of the hill. And it's interesting that this is where Sigismund's own mercenaries are located. That's curious. I mean, you see this sort of camp within a camp at the top of the hill? Up there, with its own stockade. I guarantee you, anybody living in there is going to have a sir in front of his name. Possibly a lord. Ah, is this the horse? That's his horse. Yep. Okay. So, that's the horse, and we've located the tent. Well, I think I've located the tent where his weapons and armour are located. I didn't get a particularly good look around. Can I put... No, I can't push my luck and get in there. Okay, it's fine. It's alright, fellas. I was just being curious. So, I think we're going to have to wait until after midnight, and then go and help ourselves to some stuff. Well, at least it stopped raining. So I reckon my best bet is to grab his stuff and then steal his horse and just motor on out of here. So it was here on the left, wasn't it? A little bit further down, around about... Yep, here it is. There's his shield. And here we are. And it's curious, because they didn't mind me actually wandering in here. They just got a bit upset when I started nosing around the actual tent itself. So, there's a medium lock there, but I can probably just lift the key. This is him, Zavish of Garbov. Right, let's have his key. Actually, keys, more than one. Yeah, I'll take his armour. Why not? It's probably valuable. And I've got the time. Alright. So, what's in this chest, young fella, me lad? Not what I'm looking for. Huh. Alright. He wasn't actually... No. I thought possibly he actually had... So what's-his-face's armour on him, but no, that isn't it. It's not bad stuff, you know. It's not as good as what I've got, but it's not bad. But it's definitely not the stuff I'm looking for. How many shields does this guy need? What about in here? Ah, here we go. Jezhek's helmet, Jezhek's gloves, Jezhek's... Yeah, this is it. So I'm taking all of this. Do I have... Yeah, I do have the carrying capacity for it. I'll take the cash. I mean, it's less than 15 groschen, but whatever. Fine. Alright. We're good. Now we just need to steal his horse. And return it to Sir Jezhek. Although while we're in here, I'm just going to have a look in... What's this? No, just a soldier. Nobody special. And nothing special. Well, it was a decent longbow. I'll take it. Also the specialty ammo. Yeah. Can get a couple of hundred at least for a fair amount of this stuff. Better in my pocket than his. Now, steal the horse and get the hell out of here. With all of the liberated armour. Oh yeah, I need to be carrying a torch like a good citizen.
Like you. God be with you.
Greetings, Master Guard.
Thank you. You've no idea how much that means to me. I now help myself to the horse and then get the hell out of Dodge. I don't know if there's a... Because I'm going to have to steal the horse. And there are guards everywhere. So the second I steal this horse, I need to make myself scarce, because I'm instantly going to be wanted. Yep, there it is. Instantly, already attracting all kinds of wrong attention. Now, if I can just get out of here without crashing the horse.
Good horse.
Or getting stopped. Hey, there we go.
Quick!
Oh, horse doesn't like it.
Wait,
No,
wait,
don't. Oh,
wait.
seriously, come on. You had to do it here. There are men with halberds chasing after me. Where the hell? Come on. All right, fine. I won't push you so hard this time. But we're getting out of here. Hey! Well, that was close. Now, anybody who's already played this game and has done this bit might already have realised just exactly how I fucked up. But we'll save the surprise for when I return to Sir Jezhek and attempt to reunite him with his stuff. Sir Jezhek is waiting at the inn in that place whose name I can't pronounce. You remember the one? The one that isn't actually anywhere near that place whose name I can't pronounce, but is in fact several hundred miles down the road from that place whose name I can't pronounce. It's all the way down here. I can't even remember what quest it was I was doing, but I spent quite some time trying to find the inn in that place whose name I can't pronounce when it's actually down here and nowhere near the village itself. So anyway, I'll spare you the misery. My mission was to recover Sir Jezhek's armour and his horse. Clearly I have recovered his horse. I'm riding his horse right now. And you just saw me recover all of his armour. Except I actually didn't. Do you remember when I was looting the chest that contained his helmet and his leg plates and so on and so on? I was admiring some very, very nice brigandine armour, a cuirass that was mounted on a stand next to the chest that contained all the rest of Sir Jezhek's gear. That was Sir Jezhek's brigandine cuirass. Everything else was in the chest, but the brigandine was not. It's still in Sigismund's camp, because I left it there. So I have to go back to Sigismund's camp. The only problem with that, I was just seen stealing a horse from Sigismund's camp. So I'm now as wanted there as I am in Guttenberg. Or in other words, I can't just walk up to the gate and ask them nicely to let me in. I'll be arrested on sight. And that would be very, very bad. So I'm going to have to come up with some other way of getting in. So, we're back. It is the middle of the night, but I have taken a Nighthawk potion so you can actually see what's going on. I have a couple of options here. There's no climb ability in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, so it's not like I can hop over the fence. I mean, there are certain very limited and very, very specific circumstances where you can climb things. And I'm not just talking about ladders. I mean, I'm not climbing this. Generally, if you come to like a low wall that's at about hip height, you can kind of hop over it. But other than that, forget it. Find a ladder or go around. So either way, I'm not getting over that ditch and over that fence. My other option is to try to stealth kill, like assassinate the gate guards, which is doable, but very, very risky. That has the potential to go horribly, horribly wrong in any number of ways. Not least of which, if I screw it up, then I'm in a fight with guys in full plate armour and I'm not. And they'll just kill my ass, most likely. Or even if they don't, the sound of the fight will bring more sentries running and they'll kill my ass, most assuredly. So yeah, that's just one of the ways that could go wrong. The bodies could be found, or even if the bodies aren't found, if I manage to hide them successfully, the fact that the gate isn't manned is going to raise suspicion. The alarm will be raised and they'll have an entire camp on the lookout for me. So yeah, it's my only other real option is to just try to find a gap in the fence. Fortunately, there is one. Down here at the shitty end of the camp where all the Cuman mercenaries are billeted. Rather than just finishing the fence, they've just stacked up a bunch of wagons next to it. And there is a way of slipping through. Takes a bit of looking for. There we go. We are in. Now I have to make a choice. Do I carry a torch or not? Because anybody sees me sneaking around after dark without a torch, they're going to stab first and ask questions later. The problem is that if I do wander around the camp like a good upstanding medieval citizen carrying a torch so everybody can see me, I'm a wanted man in this camp. I don't really want anybody to see me because they're going to stab first and ask questions later. Oh, like that sentry there. Yeah, let's go the other way around. Bear in mind, because I've got a Nighthawk potion running, this looks way, way brighter and more illuminated than it actually is. So if you see me getting ludicrously close to guards and sentries and they don't seem to see me, it's because this is actually much, much darker than it appears. You can only really see what's going on because I'm using a Nighthawk potion. But I figure the best plan is to just avoid everybody rather than carrying a torch like a good upstanding medieval citizen. So here we are again, seconds out, round 2. At least this time I know exactly what it is that I'm looking for. Anything over here I can steal while I'm here? Because I don't believe I checked this side of the camp out. Hey, what can I say? It's an opportunity not taken. But no, there's nothing over here. So. There it is. It was right next to the chest.
Right.
I can even remember.
Armor. I'll take it to Jezhek in Pshitok.
I can even remember looking at it and thinking, oh, that's nice. I wonder if I'll steal it. Nah. I don't want to weigh myself down unnecessarily. I'm such an idiot. Well, anyway, I've got it. Now I just need to get out of the camp. And hope, because here's another thing. Remember I stole his horse. Stolen horses don't stay stolen unless you take them to a horse thief, fence, whatever, and arrange for them to become yours. So I had to leave his horse at the inn because I couldn't ride it through the camp. And what happens if you just dismount from a stolen horse without, properly stealing it, is after a while it would just bugger off back to where it came from. And it came from this camp. But I'm kind of hoping that what it actually does is return to its owner. And its owner is Sir Jezhek. And he's at the inn that isn't actually located in the village whose name I can't pronounce. So I'm hoping it's going to stay where I left it. Because otherwise I'm going to have to come back to the camp and re-steal his horse. Which will make me increasingly unpopular around here. Even more so than I already am. Oh shit, that was way too close. Almost got busted. Almost busted myself. So those were the wagons down by the... that's where the exit is. The gap in the fence. I wonder if I can just toss a stone to distract that guard. Or maybe just sneak right past him. Yeah, it should be alright. Oh, well that was handy. Okay. Well, thanks for that. So anyway, back to the inn. Located a couple of 100 yards down the road from the place whose name I cannot actually pronounce. Hey there, sir, what's your face? Sorry to wait you and all that, but I've got your stuff.
About these things of yours.
Did Zavish listen to you? Tell me, how did it go?
Not exactly. Didn't speak to him.
Here you go. But you better not flash that armor around too much. Someone might be surprised that it's not on Zavish's chest.
You stole it? Please tell me that you're joking.
What does it matter? You wanted it back, and here it is.
But it's dishonourable.
Don't give me that. You tried to rob me before.
All right, then. What about my horse? Did you,
He's waiting for you at the inn. He's really quite a good horse for his age.
The best. The House of Honourable will be forever in your debt. Take this shield, so at least you'll have something to remember me by if this is farewell for good, which is quite likely given how old and grey I am.
It was no bother. And what are you going to do next? I trust you're done with robbing.
As the Lord is my witness, I'm done. It's time for me to go home. I haven't been there in years, and somehow I feel it in my bones that I shouldn't put it off.
Well then, I'm glad to have met you, Sir Knight.
Godspeed, valiant Henry.
Yay! I got a shield, which I'm never going to use. Because I don't use shields. But I didn't do it for the loot. I didn't do it for the honour either. I mean, I certainly didn't do it for the quest rewards. But I've... let's just say I've probably covered my expenses with all the stuff that I stole from Sigismund's camp. So hey, it's all good. And I hope you enjoyed watching me do it, because that's it for today. That was the Lost Honour quest in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And I have to admit, it's not a bad shield. But so's the one I've got, which I don't use either. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you're all having a fantastic weekend. And as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.